All right, guys, we made it to Friday. That's right, it's Friday. Made it to the end of the week. I'm so happy that I've been able to have an editorial for you each day this week. But I'm going to round out the week just perfect. I'm going to give you an editorial this morning. It's going to really make you happy. You're going to enjoy your weekend after this one. Probably not, but you're going to love this one. Right when we thought the NYPD couldn't get any worse, New York City auditor, I feel for you, brother, because you got your work cut out. NYPD, man, they are scumbags. And you're going to find that out here in this editorial. They are scumbag. And the justice system there, you're a bunch of scumbags too. We're going to find out why this morning in this morning's editorial. I don't know. The cops said it was consensual. The cops said. The cops, just to give you a quick summation before I jump into it. I don't know. I don't think it's in this story. I read three versions of this, ABC News and some couple other ones. And in one of them, I don't think it was this one, they reported that the police, the two officers allegedly said the sex they had with this person was consensual. The cop said that. With a lady who's 18 years old, or was 18 at the time, handcuffed in a van, going to jail with two gun-toting cops. Was she gonna, was it consensual because you had two gun-toting cops with an 18-year-old in police custody? Does that make it consensual? You gonna have sex with us? Okay. It's consensual. Put this back up. Maybe it was. But if it was, I believe, in my humble opinion, it was because you had an 18-year-old who had been arrested by two gun-toting cops from the NYPD. Not because it was consensual. Let's jump into it, guys, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Two former New York City police officers pleaded guilty Thursday to charges of misconduct and receiving a bribe after the pair said they had sex with an 18-year-old drug suspect in the back of a police vehicle in exchange for releasing her. My question is, whose idea was that? Come on, guys. Richard Hall and Eddie Martins pleaded guilty on Thursday to 2 counts of third-degree felony bribe receiving and 9 counts of misdemeanor official misconduct during an unscheduled hearing in Brooklyn Supreme Court. Justice Danny Chun, scumbag, agreed to accept their guilty pleas in exchange for 5 years of probation over the prosecutor's request for 1 to 3 years in prison. Chun slammed the two detectives and the female suspect for engaging in criminal activities. Stop for a second. You have an 18-year-old handcuffed in the back of a police vehicle. 2 cops say, we're going to have sex with you. And the judge slams her too? Jury selection in the trial for the former officers was slated to begin on September 9th. Had they gone to trial and been convicted, they would have faced up to 7 years in prison. Hall, 34, and Martins, 39, and the suspect was 18 at the time, were initially indicted on felony rape and other charges, but prosecutors dropped the charges in March and presented their case to a grand jury, which indicted them on bribery and official misconduct charges. Now, Judge Chun said, quote, when the prosecutors dismissed all the violent felony charges, they had clearly shown to this court that the violent felonies could not be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The credibility of the victim or the complainant in this case was seriously questionable at best. Also, by putting that complaint in the grand jury, that witness most likely obtained immunity, except for potential perjury charges. Both officers resigned from the NYPD shortly after they were indicted in November 2017. Martin's attorney, Mark Betterow, told ABC News that the rape charges were only brought by the prosecutors due to the pressures of the Me Too movement. Betterow said, quote, "We repeatedly told them of the evidence that she was lying, which was their own evidence. They rolled their eyes at us for over a year and a half. The prosecutors botched the investigation and tried to please the public outcry, and that's not what prosecutors are supposed to do." Now look at this Betterow guy. Looks like a little Joe Pesci. Yeah, Judge. So these two cops, man, they fucking get falsely accused, Judge. These two fucking cops, these two Utes. We should let them go, Judge. Okay, that was a terrible Joe Pesci, but right, the guy looks like a little Joe Pesci trying to defend these cops. But he said, "We repeatedly told them of the evidence that she was lying." Their own evidence. I want to know what they said she was lying about. If it was the sex thing, come on, guys. 18-year-old, two guys over 30 years old, and they've got her in the back of a police vehicle. You're going to have sex with us, right? Okay. In September 2017, Hall and Martins were assigned to the NYPD's Brooklyn South Narcotics Unit. That's right, the NYPD gang. When they arrested an 18-year-old drug suspect. The pair admitted to Chun on Thursday that they took turns having sex with her in the back of the police van as they drove through Bay Ridge and Coney Island in exchange for releasing her, and that they did not report the arrest to their superiors. As a result of this disturbing incident, New York passed a law to prohibit police officers from having sex with people in their custody, closing a loophole that allowed officers to claim the sex was consensual, says Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez in a statement. He goes on, quote, "We could not apply the new law retroactively, and serious credibility issues in this case precluded us from proceeding on additional charges, yet we remain committed to holding these defendants accountable." Assistant District Attorney Frank De Gaetano objected to the probationary sentencing offered by the judge. Chun felt it was appropriate to give the prosecutors a reason for his decision, which was based on the history of the case. Chun said the felony bribe receiving charges would have made sense if this was an undercover sting operation, adding that he only foresaw a jury convicting Hall and Martins of the misdemeanor misconduct charges. Misdemeanor. The victim of this sexual assault revealed herself under the pseudonym Anna Chambers and has a pending $50 million civil rights lawsuit against the city and her assailants. Michael David, Chambers' civil attorney, told WABC over the phone, "This is outrageous that they can rape my client and not serve any jail time." David said he intends to seek federal civil rights charges against the former officers. So these two cops, let me just give you the whole thing here, arrested this drug suspect who was 18 years old at the time, had her in the back of a vehicle. They're both over 30 years old. And they said, look, you can have sex with us and we'll let you go, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden she says she was raped. Now, what I want to know in the comment section below is who you believe. I believe her. I don't believe these NYPD cops for a fucking moment. I wouldn't believe these guys if they stood on a Bible and held Jesus in their arms and said, "I have baby Jesus." I wouldn't believe them for a minute. I wouldn't believe them if they had a number 2 pencil in their hand and said, "I have a number 2 pencil." I would say, bullshit. You have a slice from a banana peel. I wouldn't believe these guys anywhere. But this here makes me absolutely fucking sick. And I'm sorry for the language, but the fact that these NYPD officers over 30 years old would even if it was consensual, that they would even offer that to an 18-year-old young girl. I am so freaking sickened in my stomach. I just want to, in my mind, I'm not saying this is not a threat and I won't do this, but I'm saying in my mind, I would just love to have these two guys in a room and me with boxing gloves and them tied up and beat the holy living shit out of these two scumbags. I don't intend to do that. I'm just saying that's something I fantasize about right now. Because these two guys are scumbags. And the judge is a piece of shit for taking this sentencing. You're an idiot. You let these two scumbags violate a young girl, teenager, and get away with it. Basically, they got away with it. Oh, yeah, they did. Well, they're not cops anymore. Well, not in New York. They'll probably show up in Connecticut or New Hampshire or Vermont. Maybe even Philadelphia. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm going to put a link to the whole story in the description box. Let me know what you guys think. This absolutely turns my stomach. News Now Ukaipa, letting you know what's going on with law enforcement across your nation. I'm sorry for this one. I'm irate by this one, man. Let me know what you guys think. News Now Ukaipa, ending your week with the worst story you can find. Just about. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Remember, it's Labor Day weekend. I'm going to try to get out to the LA County Fair on Mondays. You might see me at the LA County Fair with the wife and kiddos. Have fun, guys. Have a great 3-day weekend. I'll try to get some cop watching in for you, too, over the weekend. Try to do that. All right? Happy Friday.